Hey marshmallows, today we will be finishing the story of how my boyfriend cheated on me with my cousin. This is part 4, the aftermath. Now, real quick, before we get into this story, I do tarot readings, all right? I just came out with a new one. It's called Spirits. It is, a Halloween theme. It's Halloween season, and this is a reading, a tarot slash intuitive reading where I use my psychic abilities to uncover what spirits, deities, entities, ancestors, any ghosts that are in your home, if there are any at all. All right, we will talk about them, discuss them, any that you may need to protect yourself from. All right, because there are a lot of things that may be harming us that are unseen. All right, so if you are into that and you're interested, go look at my website. Link is down in the description below. It's only $7 to $8. And yeah, if you want to talk with me one-on-one or in a personal setting, Discord is in the link below. Now let's continue. Okay, so this is the aftermath. So I don't know if you guys remember the last part of the story, part 3, but we talked about how basically damn, I forgot their names. Hold on. So basically, Chris Brown had tried to, basically he exposed me, right? He created multiple group chats. I was cyberbullied by his numerous friends. They were all boys. And basically he tried to expose the fact that I was talking to Dookie, who is the boy that cheated on me, the boy that I had a situationship. I was literally committed to him for that long. He tried to expose me for cheating on Dookie with, what did I name this guy? So yeah, he tried to expose me for talking to Xavier and Dookie at the same time, but I did tell you guys me and Dookie had gone no contact for about like almost 2 months. So whatever, after I basically got cyberbullied, a couple, like I said, I want to say the aftermath of that 2 weeks, it took me 2 weeks to get over that entire situation. I was depressed, crying in my room every night, you guys, for 2 weeks. Again, I want to keep in mind, not only was I going through a breakup, like my first ever boyfriend situationship, but I was also going through, cyberbullying. So I'm trying to digest all of this. It was a very traumatic moment for me, right? I had just gotten cyberbullied. Nobody was there to defend me. I was all on my own, except for my best friend, my Haitian best friend, Neela. Shout out to her. That's her real name. But yeah. So I was also simultaneously going through a breakup and dealing with the aftermath mentally of what they had put me through in that group chat, right? So anyways, the aftermath of that, a few weeks had passed. At this point, I think I'm still a junior. I think I'm a junior in high school. I think so. I think I'm either a junior or a senior. No, I'm pretty sure I was like a junior. Pretty sure. So I'm like a junior in high school, and I end up, becoming really good friends with this boy in my class. I think I named him, what did I name him? I named him Jacob or something like that, right? Me and Jacob, we end up having like a little thing, but nothing serious ended up happening. We kissed like once. I used to go over to his house. Like I used to hang out at his house almost every other weekend, and we would just hang out and smoke and chill, and it was really nice. So yeah, I ended up having a rebound. Jacob was the rebound, right? Moving on, I went to go visit my cousin again in New York. Kaylani. I went to go visit Kaylani that summer. So I just want to keep in mind the timeline, right? The timeline of when Chris Brown tried to expose me. It happened the beginning of that year, right? I moved on like a couple weeks later, like almost a month later, I had finally moved on. And so me and Jacob had our like little fling in the beginning of the year, right? Moving down to the summer, I told you guys I used to always visit my cousin every summer or winter, right? So obviously summer break is coming. I go down, visit my cousin, and at this point I completely had it in my head that me and Dookie are over with, right? So keep this in mind, because this is going to tie into, everybody's going to get their karma, I promise you. Let me tell the story. So me and Kaylani are hanging out, and at this point, obviously, it's clear in my head, me and Dookie are done with. I did not want anything to do with him. I didn't want to hang out with him. I didn't want to do anything with Dookie, because the fact that you sat there and allowed me to get cyberbullied, meanwhile, you know damn well you was cheated on me with my cousin the entire time, and talking shit behind my back, I wanted absolutely nothing to do with Dookie, right? This was my hot girl summer. I was coming into this summer with the mindset of, I just want to be free. I want to, talk to multiple different people. I want to get to know other people. I just wanted to casually date and just have fun, right? Being in this committed situationship, which did nothing for me, you know what I mean, in the end, right? I just realized, I'm too young to be going through all of this and I just want to have fun, right? I don't want anything super committal. So my cousin ends up hooking me up with this. Okay. So, Kaylani, right? I want to let you guys know that at this point, Kaylani is still going back and forth with Bug, her original ex. I don't think she messes with Chris Brown anymore at this point. Like I said, they had a little thing going on, but I don't think she messes with him anymore. She has moved on to this other guy. Now, this guy, fun fact, he had the same birthday as me, which is crazy. He had the same birthday as me, right? This guy, right? We're gonna call him, he's one of my favorite exes, like of her exes. He's really chill. We used to always hang out at his house for the summer, right? So the plan was, because keep in mind, Kaylani's mom is super strict. And so if we wanted to go anywhere by ourselves, we had to come up with a plan. We couldn't go that far so we could make it back home in time. It was a lot. So this guy that she was talking to, we're gonna name him Uzi. I don't know why I want to say little Uzi. I think it's because he's kind of funny. He's a little bit on the shorter side. And yeah, we're just gonna name him Uzi, right? So she's dating this boy named Uzi, and he lives like literally like real close to her. Not super super close, but he lives close enough to the point where we can make it back home in time, if her mom ever suspects we're doing something we're not supposed to be doing. So we literally hung out at his house like all the time, right? But keep in mind, y'all, this is like my second time going to his house, whatever. Now, Uzi is her boyfriend. Keep that in mind. They are in a committed relationship. Like, it's the summertime, but my cousin is like, yeah, I'm locked down. She's in this relationship. Uzi has a friend. Now, Uzi's friend, we're gonna name him, because me and this boy, nothing really ended up happening between us, but we're gonna name this friend. He's important. He's an important enough character for me to give him a name. We're gonna call Uzi's friend, we're going to call him Sway Lee. I think that's what I named him a long time ago when I talked about him on my YouTube channel. We're going to name him Sway Lee, right? If you guys know Black Beatles and you know that guy? Yeah, he's kind of like lighter skinned, very tall, but he doesn't look like Sway Lee, but we're just going to call him Sway Lee, right? So Uzi's friend Sway Lee, right? So basically, let me backtrack for you guys, right? Kaylani and Uzi are in a relationship. Me and Kaylani, it's summertime. We're trying to grow out. We're trying to have fun. But unfortunately, her mom is strict, so we can't really go to the places we want to go. So we ended up, just settling to go for Uzi's house majority of the summer just to hang, chill, and see what we could do there, right? Now, because Kaylani and Uzi are very lovey-dovey, I was like, look, sis, I came here for fun too. Like, I'm not trying to third wheel. So Kaylani ends up telling Uzi, basically they match made us, and her boyfriend put me on to Sway Lee, right? She was like, yeah, I got a friend for you. Like, don't worry, you're not going to third wheel. Because I was very much not trying to third wheel. So he was like, okay, I have a friend for you. I'm like, okay, great. So he puts me on to Sway Lee. Me and Sway Lee, I'm not going to say we hit it off and everything was amazing and we fell in love and we got in a relationship. Like, no. It was strictly a summer fling. But we did connect, I guess. We were like, we were cool for the moment. Something ended up happening with him, but child, that's a whole nother story. But we were cool for the moment, so we would basically, me and Kaylani would go to Uzi's house and Sway Lee would come there as well. We would all hang out. We would, smoke and chill, and it was a vibe. But I want to tell you guys, one day we went to the house, me and Kaylani, it's summertime. We're trying to go hang and we're trying to go chill. We go to the house, but we realize that Sway Lee is not there. Now, keep in mind, I am not trying to third wheel. I'm like, oh, hell no, I'm about to leave. Like, I do not want to third wheel. Like, third wheeling is the worst, right? Kaylani is like, girl, like, no, please don't leave. I'm like, no, girl, I don't want to be with just you and Uzi in the crib and y'all are, doing lovey-dovey shit. Like, nah. She's like, okay, now mind you, I don't remember why Sway Lee wasn't there. I think he was just running late, or I think like, I don't know, I thought we basically thought he wasn't going to come. So she's like, you know what? You don't have to third wheel. Like, we can just call your ex Dookie. I'm like, what? Mind you, this is the second time a situation has happened where I had no intentions on inviting Dookie, but Kaylani kept insisting. She's like, no, like, he's clearly not here. He's clearly not gonna come. Why not just invite Dookie? Like, don't y'all still talk? I'm like, girl, no, we don't talk. Like, I cut him off completely. She's like, oh, well, I could call him. And I'm like, girl, I really don't want you to call him. Like, I don't want to hang out with him. Like I said, y'all, I truly wanted to distance myself from this guy. I had literally while I was dating him, y'all, I turned down so many offers from other guys that were interested in me. And I just felt like it was such a waste of time. I didn't want to waste my time on this fool, on this idiot any longer. But she's like, nah, like, please, just this one time. Like, it's just a one-time thing, and then you'll never have to talk to him again. I'm like, whatever. She calls him over, right? I didn't call him over. Keep that in mind. She calls him over, whatever, whatever. He comes over to the house, and now it's me, Kaylani, Uzi, and Dookie. Now, like I said, again, Dookie's here, and I'm not really happy to see him. Like, again, I kind of wish he didn't come. I'm glad I'm not third wheeling, but in the same sense, I'm just like, I can't forget, like, in the back of my mind is what happened earlier that year. Like, I can't forget how you let everybody jump me in that group chat and you didn't defend me. Like, I can't just turn around and, oh, hey, nice to see you, like, because that's still lingering in the back of my mind. Wait for the karma to come, y'all. So me and them, we're all chilling, we're hotboxing, like I said, we're smoking, we're talking, everything is a good time, everything's cool, whatever, whatever. But again, I'm not really feeling, yeah, we're getting a little bit touchy and, like, we're flirting around. But again, in the back of my head, I'm still like, no, like, you had me fucked up in the beginning of the year. I can't forget, like, how you didn't defend me at all. And not only that, you've been cheating on me with my cousin. Like, definitely can't forget that. So a couple hours passed, like 2 hours passed, I think. And funnily enough, guess who ends up coming to the house, you guys? Sway Lee. Sway Lee ends up coming to the house. Now, mind you, he didn't catch, like I said, even though me and Dookie were being, like, touchy every now and then, like, it wasn't nothing like we were all over each other, right? So he ends up coming, and he doesn't know. Also, tidbit of information, Sway Lee doesn't know Dookie. Dookie doesn't know Sway Lee. So Sway Lee comes into the house, and I don't know what came over me, y'all, but I was just so happy to see him. Because for me, this meant that Dookie could leave now. Like, now I don't have to pretend. I don't have to feel uncomfortable, which being around him made me very comfortable. I don't have to feel uncomfortable. Like, I can just chill and do what I want to do. So Sway Lee came, and I immediately give him this big hug. I'm like, yo, where have you been? I thought you was gonna make it. Everybody's surprised. Like, you would have thought this was Jesus' second return. The way everybody was shocked he came, because we dead thought he wasn't gonna come to to hang out today. So he comes, and I'm all over him. Like, I completely disregarded Dookie, and I don't feel bad at all. Mind you, Dookie is sitting in the room, and he's watching all of this go down. So Sway Lee comes in, and I'm being extra touchy, extra feely. Dookie is watching everything, right? Sway Lee is kind of taken aback, because even though I'm kind of cuddly, like, he does notice there's a bit, of a shift in my demeanor, right? And so he notices Dookie, and Dookie introduces himself, and I tell Sway Lee, like, kind of in his ear that, yeah, that's my ex that I be telling you about, because, y'all, I was ranting about Dookie a lot. Like, when we first broke up and I came back to New York, I was not, like, here for him at all. Like, but anywho, right? So Dookie's just sitting there like a dumbass, right? And I am all over Sway Lee at this point, y'all. He's watching everything. Dookie is watching everything. I'm all on his lap. You know what I mean? He's rolling up, He's rolling up a spliff for us to light up. I'm on his lap. I'm chilling. Now, I know y'all are wondering, y'all may be wondering, what did I name him again? Damn. Uzi, yes. So y'all may be wondering, how does Uzi feel about this? Now, I didn't tell him this in the beginning, but when Sway Lee came, I noticed the mood started to shift, because, again, I was kind of doing a lot, and it was very clear. I was, like, not trying to make Dookie jealous, but I was like, I was putting on a show. So everybody, low-key, not everybody, but really, Sway Lee and Uzi started to feel bad for Dookie, because obviously they saw the predicament he was in. And I ended up whispering in Uzi's ear because Uzi didn't know this, but I ended up telling him, hey, if you ever start feeling bad, let me tell you something, right? I told him that Dookie tried to mess with Kaylani not that long ago. So feel bad for him if you want to, but this is the same guy that tried to get with your girl. You know what I mean? I basically told him, I didn't tell him exactly like what I knew, but I told him basically like, yeah, he tried to get at my cousin. So obviously this kind of set Uzi off a little bit. Like he didn't start arguing or anything, but he definitely started looking at Dookie sideways, like, he even started kind of looking at my cousin sideways a little bit, like, why would you invite this guy to my house, this guy that tried to get with you, like, you know what I mean? So I told him, yeah, they're a little bit more than best friends. That's not really her best friend, that's really the guy that want to mess with her for real. So, we're passing the spliff around, you know what I mean? We're doing puff puff pass, and I peep that Uzi purposefully doesn't pass the blunt to Dookie, who is still sitting there. Mind you, I don't know why Dookie is still here at this point. Me and Kaylani made it clear that he was dismissed. Like, Kaylani also switched up on him in the moment because Kaylani fake as hell. She switched up on him. She was like, yeah, you kind of need to leave. Like, it's over with at this point. Like, the whole reason why he was here is because he was Sway Lee's backup plan, right? He was the backup plan for Sway Lee. Sway Lee wasn't here. Unfortunately, I didn't want a third wheel, so unfortunately, Dookie was the only option. But now that Sway Lee is back, it's like, okay, you can leave now. For some reason, y'all, Dookie was not leaving. And you know what? I wasn't about to hide. I wasn't about to do nothing because you cheated on me with my cousin. I'm about to make you go through the same thing you put me through. So basically, to make a long story short, you guys, Dookie had to sit there and watch me be all over this guy and this guy all over me. He had to watch me be all over this guy, Sway Lee, okay? And he couldn't do nothing about it. Like, he was just sitting on the floor looking depressed as fuck. Like I said, Uzi felt a little bit bad, but in the same sense, Uzi did not feel that bad because he knew that Dookie kind of had a thing for Kaylani. And yeah, he wasn't passing him the blood. Like, it was pathetic. Again, I don't know why he still stayed. He could have really left. Nobody was holding him against his will, but whatever, right? So that is how I ended up getting my lick back for all the shit Dookie did to me. I promise you guys, he sat there for like almost 2 hours, 3 hours, just watching me be all over Sway Lee. Like, he just looked mad as shit. Like I said, that was the highlight of my life. I was like, I knew this was the work of my ancestors. Like, they really helped me get my lick back. Now, that is how Dookie got his karma. He had to watch me basically be swooned by this guy, right? Anywho, like I said, that was Dookie's karma. But you know who else got their karma too? Kaylani got her karma, and it was in the worst way. Now, if y'all remember, I really showed Kaylani a lot of grace in this situation, partially because I knew it was a little bit of my fault. Like I said, Kaylani did confess that she had feelings for Dookie way in the beginning, but I told her, look, sis, throw them feelings aside. Like, I'm trying to see what's up with him. Yeah, it was fucked up for me. I should have walked away then, right? That's another reason why I didn't do too much. Like I said, even though I knew what she did, I just decided to eternally kind of like not really forgive her, but to just move on and dead the situation, right? Because I knew that the universe would handle it. All those months that had went by since I found out, I had secretly prayed that the universe was going to handle her. I just kept saying, look, please just teach her a lesson. Please let her get her karma, because my cousin obviously thought it was cool to be the side chick, to be the, oh, like, I'm doing it in secret. I got your man behind closed doors. He's all over me. Like, da 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 da. I took it. Like, she obviously thought that shit was cute. So the only thing I prayed for, I didn't pray for her demise. I didn't pray for nothing else other than for her to get her karma. And let me tell you something. She did. So basically, what ended up happening is later on that year, I think edging on to next year, right? So basically, her and Uzi, they ended up breaking up. Y'all, Funnily enough, y'all want to know something? Uzi ended up getting a girl pregnant. He ended up getting his ex pregnant. The ex he dated before my cousin Kaylani, the one he told us not to worry about, he ended up getting her pregnant and they have a kid together. They're not married or anything. They're not together, but he just got her pregnant. Shocker, right? Literally right after that summer of us hanging out, he got her pregnant. So Kaylani ended up moving on to this new guy. And this new guy, he doesn't really deserve a name other than new guy. This guy that she was with, particularly for some reason, she was head over heels for him. And he was her everything, right? Now, this guy did her 50 shades of dirty. This is how my cousin got her karma. I remember I came the next summer, right? So again, I don't remember the years specifically, but I remember that bleeding on after the summer, bleeding on to next year, she meets this guy and this guy does her 50 shades of dirty. She is attached to this guy for some reason. She's in love. But he has been cheating on her, not only with her friend. Yes, this guy ends up cheating on her with her friend. He ends up embarrassing her publicly at her school. Like, literally ends up being in multiple group chats with people who don't like her. Even she found him talking shit about her in group chats with people who don't like her about her. You know what I mean? Like, he does her 50 shades of dirty. But doesn't this remind y'all of a similar situation? Let's think back. What happened between me and Dookie, right? Dookie and Kaylani were talking shit about me behind my back. Dookie had me in a group chat. Kaylani didn't defend me at all, but Dookie had me in a group chat, all of us talking shit about me with his friends while she sat there, watched all this go down and didn't say shit to me. Kaylani also ends up messing with her friend's boyfriend, her best friend's boyfriend. So yes, Kaylani is a serial side hoe, no shade, but she is. And so she ends up messing with her best friend, the best friend that did nothing wrong to her. She ends up messing with her best friend's boyfriend. This is a little side quest thing. But her best friend ends up texting me and ends up basically telling me like, yeah, you know, it's true. Kaylani was messing with Dookie and they were basically talking shit about you behind her back. And we end up spilling tea. And basically, because she ends up messing with her best friend's boyfriend, this best friend ends up holding a grudge with her for like, I think still to this day, but especially around that time, she holds a grudge for like 2 years. And she goes on throughout these months, throughout these weeks, she goes on to publicly humiliate, talk shit, embarrass, even recruit people to dislike my cousin. So Kaylani definitely got her karma. This guy that she was super attached to ends up doing everything that she was doing with Dookie behind her back. Cheating with a friend. He ended up messing with his female best friend that he told her not to worry about. Ends up being in group chats talking shit about her with people that she don't like. Doing the whole 9. And that is how Kaylani got her karma. I mean, this boy had her crying, crashing out, going crazy. And I don't wish this upon any of my cousins. Like I said, you guys, the only thing I prayed for was that she reaped what she sowed, that she got a karma and that the universe taught her a lesson, that it was not cool to take other girls' men. And honestly, I think there's something deeper that she needs to work on, which is like, I think she has something wrong, like with her when it comes to male attention, that she needs to work on, some self-reflection. But other than that, yes, you guys, that is how Kaylani got her karma. Yes, she ended up stealing her best friend's man too. Yes. Like I said, I don't even like the notion saying stealing, because you can't take a man that don't want to be took. But she messes with her for best friend's man behind her back. And that's how she got her karma. The boy that she was super attached to ends up cheating on her and doing the whole 9. So just to close out this story, you guys, that was the end of it, you guys. It ended up taking me 2 years to fully heal and move on from this situation. Yes, it took me like it took me 2 years for sure to fully heal from the Dookie situation, which, as you can imagine, you know, from the forcible kissing, yes, basically he kind of like, He stole my first kiss without my permission, didn't ask me. It was a very traumatic experience. Still to this day, I'm a bad kisser. From the online bullying and harassment and the lying and the slut shaming, cheating on me with my cousin, talking shit about me with my cousin, doing me 50 shades of dirty. I'm talking about this today because this is the reason why I know everything that I know now. This is the help, partially the reason why I'm so good at giving relationship advice. This situation taught me many things, as you can see, because many things happened to me in this relationship. And I just want you guys to know, we're going to talk about all the mistakes I made. First of all, the first mistake I made was putting somebody over myself. I wasn't happy and fulfilled within myself, right? I didn't definitely think I was ugly or anything, but I didn't have enough self-esteem. I didn't feel complete within myself, right? And I was looking for that wholeness that I didn't have within myself. I was looking for that wholeness in somebody else. And so that's my first lesson for you guys. Don't look for wholeness within somebody else. You can only become whole within yourself. A lot of people say, you come into a relationship with 50% so you can make a whole. That's not true. You're supposed to come with 100%. You're 100% self, your whole self. Nobody can fulfill that hole you have inside of you. That's what I was looking for, right? I had attachment issues as well. I was super clingy. But yeah, I also didn't have a sense of self-worth or self-respect. Obviously, I took back this man who cheated on me with my cousin and then went on to cyberbully me with like 10 other people and didn't defend me at all. Didn't care that I was crying in my room for 2 weeks straight up every night. Didn't give a fuck. Didn't care, talking about some fucking Valentine's Day party. He didn't give a damn. That's also something else I want to say. Another mistake, I should have left when I realized that I was putting in more effort into the relationship than him. I want y'all to keep in mind, during the duration of our long distance, when I was in PA and he was in New York, I was the one insinuating every conversation, every text message, every call. It was super draining, but I continued doing it again because I had no self-esteem, I had no self-respect, and I was incredibly naive. Another mistake I made was dating a guy that was close to my age. This is why I don't date guys that are like around my age, because of shit like this. But another mistake I made: do not date a guy that has a girl best friend. Any man that talks about, I have a female best friend, there's nothing wrong with saying I have a best friend who's a girl. But if they explicitly say I have a girl best friend, you need to run. Because I promise you, he's hitting that female, that girl, that best friend on the low. When you guys are getting into an argument, he's running to her. Like, definitely signs of an inappropriate relationship, for sure. Again, no self-respect. He never took me out on a date. Still to this day, you guys, I've never been out on an actual date. He never really bought me anything, even though I bought him a lot of stuff. And yeah, like, that's pretty much that. Like I said, slowly but surely, I started to see that he became more agitated with me, and his energy with me was a lot more irritable. And once you start noticing that, you guys, that's how you know a person, especially if you're a girl, that's how you know a man has truly started to like distance himself from you and emotionally detach from you. Once they start getting irritated with you for no reason, I should have walked away then, right? Because this relationship ended up making me question my self-worth, my self-esteem. I found myself asking questions like, well, why did he choose my cousin over me? What does she have that I don't? And not in the envious way, but in a genuine way. Like, what does she have that I don't? That to the point where you're willing to embarrass me publicly, to the point where you're literally, from point A, from point B, to beginning to end, he was talking to my cousin, right? I also want to say, for the aftermath part of everything, I ended up looking at my cousin's phone, I think about like, a couple months later, and I found out that she still kind of does talk to him, not as often, but they still hit each other up on the low. Yes, even after she was riding for me when we were at Uzi's house, like, yes, yeah. Yup, but they don't hang out as much as they used to, so the relationship will never be the same. I'm probably sure, they're not cool with each other like that anymore, which is crazy because y'all did all of that for what? All of that for what? But yeah, she still talks to him, just not as much. But yeah, also again, stay away from girls who have male attention seeking behaviors. Like I said, I think it's because my cousin has daddy issues and she has a present father, but he's very in and out. And I think that's why she constantly goes out her way to seek male attention, right? This internal yearning for male attention. So solve your daddy issues, you guys. I promise you, like, please take care of that shit. I hope you guys enjoyed this story overall. I hope you guys was able to learn something. And like I said, this was a very monumental moment in my life. It taught me many things, but most importantly, it taught me that I am way too pretty and I'm way too smart and I'm way too much of a bad bitch, of a beautiful being, to be dealing with this ish. All right. And so are you. So if you are currently with a guy that has been shown to do these same traits, like I said, Dookie was very nonchalant, very much, not trying, putting minimal effort, the most minimal effort you could ever think of in a relationship. So if a guy is doing that to you, bounce. Bounce. That's the only thing I have to say. I hope you guys enjoyed this story. I hope you guys were able to learn a couple things. And yeah, I hope you guys realize the mistakes that I made, because I made some mistakes in this relationship as well. Not just my cousin and not just Dookie. I did some own things myself. I know y'all probably thinking like, what happened with Chris Brown? Honestly, with Chris Brown, I ended up seeing him in person. Like I said, we met in person. Chris Brown and Kaylani, they had their little fling, but nothing ever came about. And I don't talk to him anymore. I wish nothing but the worst for him. And in regards to what's his name again? I think I called him Xavier. Yeah, so when it comes to Xavier, I still never ended up meeting him in person. We never ended up, like I said, we never met up in person. We ended up like basically we stopped talking because again, he truly believed, and this is the most shocking thing about the entire story. Xavier truly believed Chris Brown when he said that I was two-timing, basically talking to Dookie and Xavier at the same time. Even though I told Xavier everything that was going down with me and Dookie, and I told him everything, he ended up letting his insecurities get the best of him. So that sucks for him. But yeah, I don't know what happened to him. He ended up moving on though. I think he like started dating somebody else, and that was pretty much it. Like, there's not really any bad blood. I just, sucks that you let your insecurities get the best of you. But yeah, that was pretty much the end of this story, y'all. Let me know if y'all have any more questions. If y'all want any more story times from me, I have a lot more stories. This one was a little bit, I promise I'm good at telling stories. This one was not as good because unfortunately this took place, like I said, about 3 years ago. And so digging up all those memories was very hard. It was very trying, very hard for me to do, especially considering the fact that my like memory holder is really bad. I cannot remember shit sometimes. So I did my best. And yeah, this was not only helpful to me, you know what I mean, but I wanted this to help you guys, teach you guys some things and the mistakes that I made. But yeah, I was once a fool too. Not anymore, but I was a fool. And yeah, I healed and I moved on. 2 years. Healing is not linear. Healing is a difficult process. Again, I definitely had some thoughts where I was like, should I double back? Should I go back to my ex? Never go back to your ex. That's another lesson. Never go back to your ex. Ever. Unless you guys broke up due to causes that weren't, due to the relationship, right? So anywho, overall, I hope you guys enjoyed this as much as I did. Let me know if y'all want any more story times from me. I have a lot more interesting story times to share, and they'll be a lot more cohesive, probably a little more shorter, and more coherent. I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.